Welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty Cat, with my sister co-host, Miss Morningstar on WKRA 92.7 FM The Change. If you're looking for the best in news, current events, community outreach programs, and shopping connections, you've come to the right place. We've got a great mix of content and community connections lined up for you this evening, along with special guest interviews. So, grab your favorite drink of choice, turn up the volume, and let's get into it.
Good morning, WKRA 92.7 The Change. Happy Thursday. I'm your host, DJ Kitty, here with my sister, Miss Morningstar from Our Plugs, the Community Connection. Happy Thursday. Almost the weekend. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Morning, sister. Good morning to WKRA and chat and Radio Land. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday morning.
Absolutely. I hope everyone has the opportunity to drink some water. Go ahead and get you a cup of water, tea, coffee, whatever you have, your beverage of choice. And let's go ahead and get into it. Today is Thursday. We are almost to the weekend. Today is going to be another beautiful day that the Lord has made. Amen.
Amen.
Before we get started, we must hear from our affirmation queen, Mrs. Morningstar. Go ahead, sister.
You know, I take that title serious.
Absolutely, you should.
So good morning, everybody. Let's get into it. So today's affirmation is going to kind of tie into our nonprofit kind of business acclimates for today, because it's about not giving up. I recognize that rejection as protection and redirection. Let me say that again. I recognize that rejection is a protection and a redirection. So as a Black person, and this is going back into our 365 days of Black history, you're probably no stranger to being rejected based on solely the color of your skin in some cases. It hurts when it comes to a job, or sometimes even, with a relationship. For example, if you make your if you second guess yourself or second guess your self-worth, it increases your self-doubt, your anxiety, your loneliness, and sometimes you even feel helpless. You might already have those feelings, but it's important that you don't wallow in that feeling, because it can discourage you from moving forward in life. It might suck to go through rejection, but also view it as a form of protection and redirection. That way you can make full stops, you can go speed ahead, and you can keep going and not letting the no hold you back into what your purpose is. This affirmation can remind you that rejection is not the end of the road.
Absolutely. Sometimes that rejection is exactly what you need so that you don't make a detrimental mistake. Sometimes,
Absolutely.
You may think, oh, it's not working out in my favor, and it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. We don't know the future, but I truly believe that we're all protected. There's a higher being that's protecting us. And
There is.
also, we may see it as rejection because it's what we want, but he always gives us what we need, not just what we want. Always, all the time. I mean, when you sit back and think about it, you have to tell yourself, I know I do. How did I even get here? It was through his grace. It was through his grace and mercy. And he's protected me and redirected me from some situations where I thought personally, this is where I want to be. But he had other plans and put me where I need to be. I love that one. I can truly
Exactly.
relate.
I can too, because I think about when it ties into, us being small business owners, sometimes you second guess it. Sometimes you start a business and it fails. And it's like maybe it just was bad timing, or maybe you just went about it the incorrect way the first time. But that doesn't mean you don't start over and do it again. That doesn't mean you stop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a good push. Sometimes we want things so fast and it's
Right.
just not the right time. You got to pull back. You got to say, hold on, slow down, and redirect yourself.
Mm-hmm. We are a microwave society, and sometimes we have to take it slow.
We
And
do.
that's the best way in my mind to look at things. Instead of always being in a rush and let me hurry up and hurry up, slow down. Because the mistakes that you're making, and when you make those mistakes, take heed so that you won't
Yeah.
continue to make those mistakes, especially in business. And there's no blueprint, on you do X, Y, and Z and it works out perfectly. No, there's no blueprint for life either. You just get up every day and put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. Hey,
That's it.
Queen, we see
Hey,
you over.
Queen. I see you, sweetie pie. How are you?
Thank you for joining us this
It's
morning.
good to see you.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have an exciting show today. We're going to talk about small business tips. We're going to talk about some nonprofits, and it's always good to hear from our nonprofits because they're doing the real work, the selfless work. The work that not many have the time to do, but they've taken out the time and made it their mission to do that. It's always all good to hear from them. But before we get started, let's do some weather. It's been some really pretty days lately. I cannot complain. My only complaint is I'm stuck in the office most days and I don't get to enjoy as much sun as I like. I know.
Yeah,
That
it
off.
sucks. And I don't have a window in my office. That's even worse.
Yeah. So you feel like you're in a cave,
In a dungeon
in a
until
dungeon.
I walk out and I see the light. And I'm like, ooh, the light.
Well, in Holly Springs, Mississippi today, it's going to have a high of 74 and a low of 59.
That's
Nine
good.
9 miles per hour winds, and a 24% chance of rain. So, it's going to be a pretty day. Any day above ground, rather than below, is a good day. So we are
Amen.
thankful for every day that we are experiencing in this life. So again, grab your coffee because of course we have some current events. And sis, why don't you start tonight? I mean this morning. Why don't you start us off this morning?
Okay, sure. So I was doing a little reading during my break today, and I came across an article about Junior Bridgman. You know who that is? He's a former NBA player turned billionaire.
Oh
He
wow.
passed away today at the age of 71. He passed away the other day at the age of 71. His story is that he was a former NBA player, billionaire businessman. He was only 71 years old.
Yeah.
Had a medical emergency, and he didn't recover. He has a net worth exceeding $1 billion.
Wow.
He was the second richest NBA player after Michael Jordan. Yes.
Wow.
And according to witnesses, he had collapsed during a live interview
Oh no.
at a scouting event. Yeah. In
My goodness.
Louisville. Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
He was
Sorry
rushed to the
for
hospital,
yeah.
and he passed away. So condolences to his family. If anyone who is listening is familiar with him, and condolences to, he had an extraordinary life. I mean, he was born in Chicago, raised in Indiana, played basketball for the University of Louisville. Did I say? Yeah, Indiana. And he was the leading scorer in his team, two Final Four appearances. Ooh, sorry guys, two Final Four appearances. He spent time in the NBA, mostly in Milwaukee with the Milwaukee Bucks. in a short stint with the Clippers. So, you know, I'm a basketball fanatic. So
You are.
when I hear things about the basketball world, you know, I got to do my research and look back and see what's going on. But that was some sad news. But I think, you know, we got to stay up on our Black news of what's going on in our community.
In our community.
On a lighter note, Barack and Michelle Obama have a $18 million Hawaii mansion that's near completion, while people speaking about they are separating. You know these
they want
these haters. You know,
bad.
They want them to break up so bad.
Sorry.
That's beautiful Black love.
So Michelle Obama, I love her. I feel like she is my girl. Michelle, if you listen, hey girl.
Hey,
if you
Michelle.
out there listening, hey girl. But I feel like she is like my big sister. I really do. I feel so connected to her because she's such a strong, beautiful, Black, intelligent woman.
Yeah.
And she was on a podcast. She started a podcast with her brother, and they are talking, and they are talking about several different things. And one of those stories that they're talking about is her brother's relationship in his divorce. Not Michelle and Barack. Can y'all stop?
Y'all need to cut it out.
Cut it out. Michelle and Barack, they in it to win it. They are in it for the long run.
That is love.
That is love.
That is love. Y'all need to cut it out.
Michelle, if you listening, honey, Michelle Obama, if you're out there listening, just so happened, girl, I'd love to interview you. Girl.
Come on, Michelle. You in the podcast world, girl. Come on. You and your brother. Come on.
You and your brother. Come on. We'd like to hear your brother.
Because I'm definitely going to support the podcast. So I'm going to make sure I, you know, spend a couple notes and appearances on there. But
absolutely.
Definitely.
They need to stop it. Cut it out.
I'm definitely happy for them.
Me too. And it's positive. Can we understand that Black excellence? We are positive. We're not feeding into that narrative that those other people want us to be a part of. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not going to do
it. We're not going to do it. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Anything else, sis?
Well, you know, the usual.
Oh, here we go.
The usual suspects of the Decepticons, or you know, in the White House. But yeah, just the same. So the Dow is still down. There's still not. It hasn't recovered. You know, it's still down. Prices are still going up. I guess he's backing off on some of these tariffs. You know, this whole tariff thing, it's so childish. It's such a show. This is what I tell people. You guys voted for a reality TV show president. Yeah. And this is what you getting. Yeah. Everything is for show. He even said it. He even made the mistake and said, this is great for TV. When he was going at it with Zelensky.
It's not.
This is great reality. For TV.
You know, some people can't separate TV from reality. And I think that some people, I ain't gonna name no names, but I think that some people are having a hard time understanding truth from fantasy and reality from fiction. You know, TV is scripted. I wish somebody would tap him on the shoulder and tell him, sir, this is real life. You're messing with real life people, not a reality show. Nobody can rewrite this. You know, you can't rewrite people who are unaliving themselves, the vets who are 22 a day because you have taken away the suicide hotline. You can't rewrite that. So maybe put your pen down and sit down and let the adults into the room and do some work. Well, I do know this. The Senate Dems, they said they will not provide the votes for the GOP funding bill. And the shutdown is drawing near. Here we go again. It seems like every time it's time for a shutdown, we go through the same two-step. And I'm really, Is this what we're going to continue to do every single time? But you get what you get. You get what you get. Go ahead, Miss Morningstar.
I just agree with you. It's always this battle, this last minute down to the wire. We have 24 hours. We got 5 hours left. Causing unnecessary panic to the people, to the taxpayers. And it's pretty disheartening. But again, my message to everybody is always going to be, and it's going to remain this way: connect to a community.
Yep.
Connect yourself, tether yourself to a community of people, and of good people, of solid people like us at Our Plugs. Tether yourself, because this is just the beginning, and it's such a crazy beginning, such an insane beginning. But this is just only the beginning. Yeah. And there's going to be some trials and tribulations. I mean, we all will unfortunately have to be affected by some of this, but tether yourself to a community. I guarantee you, your ride will be better, because we're going to work together. We're going to make sure we take care of each other.
We don't have a choice,
That's right.
Sitting back thinking that, they're going to do anything. We see exactly what they're doing. They're using any opportunity to hurt the average citizen. And it's sad. Then we have massive layoffs at the Department of Education.
Yes, I heard that. That's terrible.
So y'all don't want the kids to learn either? Y'all want the kids to be just uneducated? First of all, you don't want to teach the kids truth. You don't want to educate the kids. You don't want to feed the kids. You don't want to do anything besides take. And then DJT's approval rating has dropped to 56% disapproval. 56%. That's more than half.
I want to say this evening, I heard it was at 44 now.
Oh, wow. Yesterday evening?
Yeah, yesterday evening. Yeah, I want to say that's what I heard. I heard. Now, don't quote me, y'all. We gonna have to Google it, but
I'm not surprised.
Honey, ketchup is being thrown on the wall this morning. If he woke up to that,
I really don't think he even cares. I really don't. You can't.
He will never. I will say this, Kitty. He won't let us know he cares.
Yeah.
But internally, that is eating him up, because he thrives on fame, celebrity, and he wants everybody to like him. So he looks at those minute things like who likes me, and if it's low, it bothers him, because now he doesn't feel any relevancy into people, and he wants to seem as if he's the king, right?
Well,
it's odd. We don't live our lives that way, so it's odd for us to understand.
He should be extremely bothered at this point. He should be very bothered. And so should Elon, because word on the street that the investors, 85% believe that his negative impact is hurting their company. You think? Even though his homeboy said that he's gonna buy a Tesla. Don't know about let me remember I'm on the radio. You're listening to WKRA 92.7 The Change. These are my views, not the radio station. So these are my views and my views alone. I am DJ Kitty. I'm here with my sister, Mrs. Morningstar, and we will be right back after this commercial. We need to take us a commercial break, because I almost forgot I was on the radio.
Let's break.
Let's take a break, y'all. Let's take a break.
Hey, guys. Timeless elegance. Redefine class. Welcome to Morningstar Boutique by Tam, where fashion at its finest, fashion that brings out your inner cuteness, and styles that make you go, Oh, girl, where you get that from? Check me out at www.morningstarboutique by Tam or at ourplugs.com. Can't wait to see you.
Welcome to A World That Sparkles. Sparkle Cakes LLC takes custom to a whole new level. You are guaranteed to find a gift for that special someone or even a customized gift for yourself. So head on over to my Etsy shop, Sparkle Cakes LLC, and start your personalized order today. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Have a great day.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Middleton, life and executive leadership coach and owner of Radiate Coaching and Development, where we provide transformational, strength-based coaching and mentorship. My goal specifically is to support you in identifying your mission, your vision, and your values that help you take your power back as you are building your career. Whether it's within or outside of the corporate world, my goal is to really empower you in making decisions that work well for you. So if you want to reach out to me, by all means, you can email me at radiate@midspiration.com or check out my website at radiatecoaching.com.
And we are back. Welcome back. WKRA 92.7, The Change. It's a beautiful morning to be alive. So, sis, who are we talking to first? Are we talking to Miss Carter? Are we talking to Mr. Martinez?
Let's just bring them up, both. You think?
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring them both up.
These are our
do
plug
something
of
different.
family.
Yes,
So let's bring them in. I'm gonna bring both of them in on stage. Let's go ahead. Got Andre, and we have Miss Beautiful Carter. Are you guys there?
Good morning, you two.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right.
Here go my team. Here and enjoying the show. Good to see y'all sisters this morning.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning, Diva. You got to come off mute.
How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
Hey, Diva. Good morning.
Hey. Hi, Andre.
Hey, how you doing now? That's the nonprofit queen, y'all. Just to let you guys know, she is doing wonderful things, and she got all that food on everybody's table. I'm just trying to see who's going to get a meal.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So today is a good day. Today is Thursday, and today's a good day to talk about nonprofits. You know, there's so much going on. We need some good news. We need some positivity, and we need to hear what's going on. So, Miss Carter, Miss Ziva, our sister, how are you doing? How's your nonprofit doing, sis?
Oh my God, guys, it is going well. Monday we had our first food drive for the month. We served 75 more families.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, I call that my pop and drop food in the trunk distribution.
Oh yeah.
So they just pull up, pop their trunk, we drop, and they keep it moving.
I know that. That is wonderful. And I'm quite sure those families are extremely thankful for the work that you guys are doing and making sure that they have the food that they need.
Yeah.
And so how often do you do that? How often are you doing the pop? What is it? Pop the trunk?
Pop and drop food in the trunk distribution.
Okay.
So we does that twice a month, two different locations. And we also have our food pantry open 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So all month long, we open.
Yeah. So you're feeding your community. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Carter is in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and she's doing the work. She's doing the work. And so I'm gonna put this out there. Nonprofits in Holly Springs, we need to hear from you guys as well. We'd love for you guys to come on board and get up here and tell us what's going on in your community and what you have going on as well. And you've got our queen of nonprofits right here to guide you right onto the stage.
Oh yeah, it's very needed in the time we're in now, guys. Oh my gosh. And I was just speaking on this with my partners and the volunteers and my husband as well. we had more people this time feeding families, and it's going to get worse, So the good thing about that, these commercials that we put out on our website, on our social media platforms, right? We got 2 more big donations from Costco's and D&W Fresh Market.
Oh my goodness. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ziva, pull your camera down some so we can see your face. Your name is covering it up. For those out on WKRA, we also broadcast on YouTube, so you can actually see everybody. That's perfect. Now we can see you, sis. Now we can see you. That is amazing. You are rocking and rolling.
Yes.
So Costco, and what's the other one?
It was Costco, and the other one is called D&W Fresh Market here in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
That is amazing. That is good. So
Yes.
Costco, let me tell y'all, Costco has been my go-to for years. They are definitely getting all my money. That's number one. But number two, I also buy their stocks because their stocks are amazing. Unlike Tesla. Anyway, unlike, but yeah, Costco, I'm very proud. So that's 3. Trader Joe's, Costco, and D&W. Girl, you keep it up. I'm so proud of you.
Yes, it's needed. I mean, they know it's gonna get bad, guys. I'm telling you. So I'm asking all nonprofits that deal with the community, that giving back food bags, come along to all our plugs. We can collaborate, put our thoughts together, and we all can work together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how we have to do it.
Yeah, God told us to reach 4 corners of the earth. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. That's right. And with God's blessings, we're going to do exactly that.
Yes.
It's working. It's working.
So it's good to hear that you're a good steward of the blessings that you have been given, Sister Ziva, because when it says be fruitful and multiply, it ain't just talking about kids now.
That's right.
Talking about what fruits that you've been given off the tree, then go ahead and multiply them and bless others, because when the blessing comes to you, it's to go through you. And when it does that, then you can be able to multiply. And when you multiply, now you're answering God's calling.
Amen.
And when you do that, oh man, your business, your nonprofit, it's going to soar and soar, and it's going to be such a unimaginable, success and growth. So keep on doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah, it's not about, to me, it's the funds is good, but when I started, how excited I was at the age of 13 or 14, well, whatever. I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Imagine all the other teenagers back then ain't think about volunteering, or giving back because they didn't understand it. But I was raised in a huge family of 13, and that's all we did.
Yeah.
It's a big difference from, setting up a lemonade stand trying to get money for yourself versus collecting the lemons to make lemonade to give out in order to feed others as well.
Amen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's
good to hear you've been in these since youth.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got a lot to learn from Miss Ziva. She's selfless, and I applaud you. I think that God blesses those who bless others, and you're doing it, and you're selfless about it. So it's nothing but blessings coming your way. And I encourage anyone else to connect with her, because this is what it's about. This is what we were put here to do. Yes, we were born, and we were raised, and we have our families, and we have our careers and all that, but giving back to the community is something that we're all, this is volunteer work for us. This is, there's no huge $1 million that's waiting on us. No, but this is the reward is more than monetary. It's a feeling of self-worth. It's a feeling, I'm doing what God has put me on earth to do. Go ahead, Andre.
Also, I was just going to chime on in as far as the tax standpoint. Every grocery store, Kroger, Town Thumb, HEB, Aldi's, wherever grocery store is in your local communities and surrounding areas, go to them with your 501c3 determination letter. So with that letter, and also with the from your state, your sales tax information showing that you are a nonprofit, you take those two items, then you can be able to get their inventory, because at the last few days, you know, or if it's not selling on the shelves and they're trying to make room for their new orders, guess what? They have to move them on out the way. So when they move them out the way, you say, come my way, my nonprofit. And that's how your nonprofit can be able to stack inventory and be able to now in turn be able to give that inventory out. And because you're that nonprofit and they are for profit, they're just going to write it off anyway to make their bottom line, you know, even smaller, which they'll be taxed less.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be taxed less, because when you tax less, you have less taxes to pay. So go in there with those two items of information, and you can be able to receive groceries and be able to bless others, just like the Carter's Helping Hands.
And so what are those two? Say it again one more time. So in case somebody out there needs to write it down for us, Andre, it's the what?
Your 501c3 determination letter from the IRS, and then your state sales tax information, which shows that you are the nonprofit and that you can be able to receive things tax deductible. And those two information there, or maybe your articles of incorporation as well, you'll for sure at least be able to get those items for free.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And I'm sure there's a lot of nonprofits and people who are developing these nonprofits that need this information. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead. Is there anything else? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to go on mute because I got my pen ready. I'm trying to write some notes. Go ahead, Andre.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Either one. Either one.
You got it.
So yeah, I encourage everyone, do something in your community. They don't have to be a food pantry. You can open up your porch and sit on the porch and just have a conversation. You might save somebody's life just by having a conversation. So that conversation go a long way. You know, you touch somebody's spirit, they heart when you speaking from the heart, and they can vibe with you. They will understand you. And that's not the only thing I do in the community. I also give back just by having a conversation, leading people to resources, you know, what they need to do if they're homeless, give them some resources, how to get shelter, how to get clothing. I mean, that all come under that same umbrella of Carter's Caring Hands.
Awesome. And I'm actually glad you brought that up, because if you notice that in the nonprofit arena, you'll start bumping elbows with the same type of volunteers in the community, the same type of organizations. And, you know, Ms. Diva is right. If you are doing something else, you can be able to, let's say if a nonprofit is going down or a company is going out of business, you can be able to get, you know, their company vehicles donated to you. Actually, part of the nonprofit establishment process, before your nonprofit goes out of business or is closing, you are required by the IRS rules and regulations to give your stuff to another 501c3. You cannot make money off of it. It's part of the dissolution statement that you're supposed to put when you are establishing your nonprofit in your articles of incorporation. So because nonprofits are going, some are dying out, they can be able to give you their desks, their storage stuff. You know, like I said, if they have a van, then you can be able to get your products and then use their van that they have to give you, and you go out in the street and distribute. So that's another way that you can be able to utilize the resources available, figure out who's going out of business in your area, who's closing down. That's going to be a lot of folks these days too. Yes, Miss Morningstar.
So let me ask you, Andre. So could you run that back to me? How do you get that list? Is it with you having the file? How do you obtain that?
So the yellow pages, I call it, of the nonprofit world is going to be on GuideStar. And so GuideStar.org is a list of nonprofits, and you can search through zip code or different categories. They have filters on there and, say, hey, how are you guys doing? Do you guys have any extra assets, or figure out if they are going out of business?
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does it take if you decided today, you know what, I want to do a nonprofit. I want to do something to offset. Maybe I'm just gonna hypothetically say for me, I have clothes, and sometimes all the clothes don't sell. I may have clothes that go on sale, but they still don't sell. Maybe I want to go ahead and do a donation, or do something for the community with the extra volume of clothing that I may have left. How would you go about starting that nonprofit? What would be the first step?
Yeah, sure. That's actually a great question. And I was actually helping out a teacher. And so she was helping out some of the kids that were homeless. And I said, well, you're going to Goodwill and buying all the clothes and then giving them to the kids, but you could actually have your own, closet. So let's call it Miss Morningstar Closet. And that closet can be able to give back to the, less fortunate families. So we can be able to, get together, get a mission statement, which I can be able to, and my team at EA Tax Pros, our nonprofit division, can be able to help you formulate a mission statement that will be geared towards one of the public charity status qualifications. So either it's going to be public charity, it's going to be educational, grants and scholarships, or environmental. So those are the categories that you kind of have to fall into, and then we'll take your vision and your mission and make sure it's tailored to fit in that 501c3 requirement.
Oh yeah, that's very important. Speaking of, someone gave us a truck when they heard that we had a nonprofit and feeding the community, right? So that's how we got our truck, right? And when we do our food drives, people loan us their building just to do the food drives. So that's a good thing. So we don't have to buy another building to do food drive. That's why we go to each community, use their property to have a food drive, right? And they use that on their tax write-off as well.
Yes. And you talk about brick and mortar versus an online nonprofit, because just because you're a nonprofit doesn't mean you have to have an actual building for people to go into, like Goodwill and United Way. No, you can be fully online, have the 501c3, and do exactly what Ms. Ziva was talking about. Use other facilities. And that's why it's so good to volunteer for other people's events, because at some point in time, you guys are going to need each other. And it's in profit world, it'll be bartering services, but in nonprofit, it will be, donating with affiliated organizations. So that's another way that you can be a virtual nonprofit, not have a storefront or stores, but still be active and involved in the community.
That is a really good idea that you just gave, Mrs. Morningstar. And I'm quite sure there are so many other people out here listening in the radio world who are thinking, okay, let me look into this, because this is a great, if you have say you have a boutique, say you have a shoe store or any type of store, any extra inventory that you may have, you can give that back to the community and start that 501c3, and that will help with your taxes. Mr. Martinez, that is a brilliant idea. See? This is
You got
another
me
reason
thinking.
why. I bet he does.
The
And
mind
if
is
you do want to
going.
get it out your store, you can be able to get, even if you go to U-Haul, they have storages and you can just store it there, which that will be another
Let
write-off.
me tell you why. Because through the years, of course, as a boutique owner, I've accumulated so many clothing and everything just doesn't sell. I mean, to be honest. So I bagged and I got clothes in there now that's in the closet just from probably a few seasons ago, and good clothes. I mean, that people probably will want. And I mean, to offset the store, you gave me an idea, Andre, like the closet,
Yeah.
and can I, how could I tie it into my for-profit business to, or I can't tie it in, or can I mean, how would that go? It had to be a whole other entity.
Yeah, so you'll have to get a separate EIN.
Okay.
Well, you'll file with your state what's called a nonprofit corporation. So file with your Secretary of State the nonprofit corporation application, and in Texas it's $25. I mean, you can spend that at Chili's,
anywhere.
So,
for one fry.
So, it's easy to put in the budget, and it's because they want to invest more in the community, because if the taxpayers are actually doing the heavy lifting in the community, then that's less heavy lifting on the government. So they're going to make it pretty cheap to be able to get started. So yeah, you file that nonprofit corporation or application, get your tax ID number, your EIN from the IRS website, and then you're going to have to file a 1023 IRS application for the exemption, for the 501c3 exemption, because even though you may establish yourself with the state, until you get that federal 501c3 status, you're not going to be able to receive things and give out that tax deductible statement at the end of the year for your donors. And so that's what we do at EA Tax Pros. We take you from A to Z to make sure that you are legit and you're able to operate. And after that, you can be able to be on your own and come back to us for advice. We're always welcoming the opportunity to help you build out your programs. So we help you create your bylaws, your program of activities, all those things, so you can be able to operate. But yeah, it'll be a separate entity from your for-profit. And you always have to at least start out with 3 board members. I'd say you want your president, at least, your treasurer, because they want to know that you have somebody making handling the money correctly, and a secretary or a director. You can start out with those 3, which is required, at least 3 board members, or you can have more. So
let me ask you a question, Andre. So I know EA Tax Pros, you guys do our work. So question, do you do work outside of Texas? Because I know there's some people listening that are on the East Coast and they're in the process of building their 501c3 and 501c4.
Oh yeah, 501c6 if you're a private club, like a PTA, for trying to raise funds for schools. So there's different statuses based on what you're going to do. Even fraternities and sororities, community groups, clubhouses. That's why you see, people at the golf clubhouses. That's even written off. Your youth sports. All those different types of avenues are able to be nonprofit. And so we do offer services because we have enrolled agents. Actually, me, myself being an enrolled agent, we can be able to go state to state and provide services. And so most of our services are online. We have a secured system, especially since COVID happened. We made sure we are virtually all online so we could do the 100% of the process with just everything online. Whether you're East Coast, West Coast, we have the federal certification because we're not bound by the state board like a CPA is. So we can be able to go nationwide.
Wow, that's good. That's good to hear. I've got a couple people that I've been talking to, and they are definitely working on getting a couple things established. So, I'm gonna send them your way. And if you're out there in Holly Springs or in Memphis, Tennessee, Andre Martinez at EA Tax Pros is your go-to. Trust me. We'll be right back. Let's take a quick commercial break and let's hear from Andre himself.
Hello, fellow taxpayers. I'm Andre Martinez, and as the founding owner of EA Tax Pros, I can honestly tell you that our clients trust our team of highly skilled and experienced accountants. Why? Because we work with a passion to keep your money in your pockets, and we keep filing taxes simple, regardless of any situation. And let's be honest, taxes are not everyone's favorite. That's why, as a multi service accounting firm, our professional accountants have a deep understanding in all areas of accounting, and as well as tax planning, preparation, and resolving your tax issues. We lead the way of effectively utilizing the tax regulations and IRS codes to help our clients clearly identify the path of their personal, nonprofit, and business goals. So, if you don't know how to start your business or your nonprofit, we welcome you to the EA Tax Pros team, and you will have access to our enrolled agents who have earned the highest certification of the IRS, as well as CPAs, certified acceptance agents, and QuickBooks certified pro advisors. So give us a call, 713-496-0262. Or you can visit us at ea-taxpros.com. So come join the team that taxpayers trust. Also, don't forget to check out ourplugs.com, a community built with culture.
Opalmay Simplistic Beauty is hair care and skincare in a bottle. Take a quick survey and let us design your own formula. Go to ourplugs.com, look for Opalmay Simplistic Beauty, and we can get your formula out to you as soon as possible. We hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day. And we are back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection on WKRA 92.7. I'm here with a great panel tonight. We have our nonprofit queen and our tax pro, CPA guru. He gives so many great tips and advice when it comes to business. And we are just blessed to have Andre on our team. Blessed to have him as a part of our family. We are so thankful, Andre, that you take the time and you get us up to speed and you help us to not only stay on top of our taxes, but to grow our businesses in the right direction. Longevity is the key. Longevity is the goal. So we appreciate you for taking our time this morning to talk to us, and especially our folks in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and in Memphis, Tennessee. So where were we? We were talking about nonprofits. Who wants to start this time? Who wants to start? I think, Andre, you were talking. You want to pick back up?
Sure. you know, I was just mentioning the fact that because our process is 100% online, we can be able to service the nation. So send us your visions, you know, have at least your vision and your mission statement and maybe one or two programs already mapped out. And then we, like I said, will tailor it to make sure it fits the IRS codes. Okay. So that's definitely a key aspect. And whatever your vision is, you know, like Sister Ziva was mentioning earlier, it doesn't have to be some well thought out, majestic plan. If Miss Ziva can start at 14 years old, come on, y'all, what are we doing?
Exactly. Even, you know, even if you were, I know I was speaking with a young lady last week and she said that she wanted to start a, like a house for a home, a group home for unhoused teenagers. And even that right there, if you have an extra home, you know, you have a property that you lease out, you can turn that into a group home. And there are so many benefits to that, not only serving the community, but I'm quite sure there are plenty of tax breaks on that as well. And that's what we're all looking for. Somewhere we don't have to pay an exorbitant amount of prices on our taxes, considering none of us are billionaires and trillionaires and gazillionaires. And, you know, taxes are up on for all of us. So looking for tax breaks is key. Would you not agree?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah. You also, like you was mentioning, group homes, right? Mm-hmm. You can write grants, right? And the government can give you grants.
Oh, wow.
And to get that group home, I have a cousin on my husband's side, right? That's what he did. He wrote a grant. He got the funds from the government to open a men's group home, those that's coming out of prison.
Wow. Yeah. So there are grants available.
If they ain't cut it out yet.
Well, well, don't speak too soon. Don't let nobody know. Don't let nobody know on his team, because if he finds out, you know what they're gonna do.
I know. Yeah. But that's what he did. That's what he did. And that was something I was thinking about doing, you know, with a couple. My husband and I, we have two 4-family flat apartment complex, right? Mm-hmm. And we were thinking about turning one of them into that. But we have to ask the whole neighborhood, would it be okay for that? Oh. You know, we have to get them involved because they safety come as well. Absolutely. So, and a lot of people would say no, or maybe they'll say yes, but the whole neighborhood get involved because we have to let them know.
This message is God sent. I'll tell you that much, because that was actually one of the topics in my notes here I was going to bring up was zoning. Yeah. Each city has zoning laws and regulations. So you have to go to your city map or your city council website and make sure that, and I'm a living walking testimony of this happening, because when I was on the board at my old church, we were trying to move into a location, but they already changed the zoning laws to make it more of like a business park, you know, to where there was just only allowing businesses and certain offices within that region, within that block or two, you know, and it just a street over, there was already a church. So we're like, what the heck, what's going on? Why can't we be able to move on in? But nope, those zoning laws and rules, which change depending on who you vote into your local office. Yeah. Okay. So they could wipe out that whole area and say, nope, we're not going to allow any group homes. Nope, we don't want no food pantries because it's going to bring homeless and, you know, some people on the street. So before you look into leasing a place or write any type of contract or agreement, make sure that you get the zoning laws and make sure that your plans, and you take your plans to them, is exactly acceptable to what the requirements are, because your bubble will be burst and you will waste a lot of money. Sometimes you can't get out of those contracts because those real estate places will still want their money.
You know, down here in Texas, where I'm at, there was a huge building that there were two big buildings next to each other. And they were built years ago, probably about 20 years ago, but they were never moved into. They're huge. They're like 15 bedroom homes.
Wow.
And the people that built them, I think the owner passed away. And so these properties sat for years. Well, just last year, one of them was turned into an office space. It's really nice, really nice. And the other one, they wanted to turn it into a shelter for VA veterans. And do you know that these people in this area, well, in that specific area, voted it down and voted against it?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. And you know what they did?
Right.
They tore it down.
Hmm.
They rather tear it down than to let homeless vets live in it. And it was huge. When I tell you, it looked like not apartment, it looked like an office building. It was at least, I'd say at least maybe 30,000 square feet. And they tore it down. You know what I'm talking about, Miss Morningstar? Right behind me, all the way down over there, right before you get to Waffle House. Right before you get to
it was in Pearland? It was in that?
Yeah, in Pearland. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
And they tore it down. They rather tear it down than
put veterans. Yeah. And you see how our population of homeless here in Houston,
it's ridiculous.
It's awful.
We have all of these homes, these empty buildings. It's just, I think that we are a nation. I need us to stop being selfish. Stop it.
Yeah.
You know, stop it. You know, there's so many people out here that really need assistance, and it's up to us. You know, we can't we can always look at the doom and gloom, but it's up to us to stand strong and stand true and get connected with those who are doing the work as well. You know, that's all we can do. You know, it's unfortunate that they would rather tear it down than let homeless vets live there. And when the community found out about it, it was, you know, we have an app called Nextdoor.
Mm-hmm.
It was so many comments of people, you know, a lot of veterans saying, you know, how dare you disrespect us like this? You know, do you know the sacrifice that we made for this country? And there was a lot of people who were selfish saying, well, I just don't want that in my neighborhood. You know, you
but is it really your neighborhood?
It's not.
Because if you don't pay taxes and you get a lien on it and they come for it, then guess what? It ain't your neighborhood no more. It ain't even your property. Even if you pay off that $300,000 mortgage or whatever the mortgage is, that land that your asset sits on will be swiped away because that land is not your land. That's just the system.
Keep paying.
So don't pay your taxes and see if you can still say that statement.
Yeah, that's the one thing that surprises me. You know, as an adult, when I finally started purchasing homes, I said to myself, you know, I can buy all these homes, but if I don't pay my taxes, they can take it away. We will never, ever actually own land here.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
Gotta pay taxes on them.
Never, ever. And you know, it's other countries. You know, I've heard them say, "What's the deal? You'll never own it? No, never own it, never own it. But you can buy land in other countries now. I'm just putting that out there for whomever is listening."
You're talking about dual citizenship, DJ Kitty.
I am. I I am. There's nothing wrong. Africa and Honduras, Belize, they all look really good. Anywhere in Africa looks really
they looking beautiful nowadays.
beautiful.
I'm more of an island man myself, so I might be down there in Belize or Antigua.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not mad about that either.
Or the Caribbean. You know,
Yeah.
Dominica is a beautiful island. I went
Dominica
there.
is gorgeous.
Beautiful. Oh my
So
goodness.
the person who does my locks is from Dominica.
Yes.
And she's
okay.
actually going to be going back home to get married this summer. I want to be like, can you put me in your suitcase?
Right? Yeah, you got room in the back.
Well, you got to get on a flight for that, sis. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, dual citizenship sounds pretty good to me, you know, considering that, you know, if we go to Africa, we don't have to worry about Elon because he's not welcome there. I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out. You know, for those of you, you know, we joke around here on WKRA first thing in the morning. Everybody take y'all a good sip of water. We got some more for you tonight. So let me ask you, Mrs. Carter, when you decided to do your start your nonprofit, and I know you've talked to other nonprofits. What's some of the barriers that you face? Because there are people who are listening who may want to jump right into this, and they really do want to know what's, you know, I don't want to hear all the what are some of the barriers that you may face or you have faced along the way?
Well, one of the barriers I faced was getting connected with other nonprofits at the first, because it's very hard. You got a lot of trust issues in the community, right?
Yeah.
When you deal with other organizations, for instance, nonprofits, they really want to know, are you really going to serve the community? Because it's not just my nonprofit here in Kalamazoo, it's about at least 10, right? But we are in different districts, right? So when you're connecting to nonprofit, they really want to know, are you going to be there to serve the people, right? That was one of the barriers, connecting. Some of them didn't even want to connect with me. So I had to go online to see what I had to do to make my nonprofit better without depending on other nonprofits. Because a lot of people, truth be told, don't want to help you.
Well, I'm so glad that we are in this organization, because that's what we are about. We're not gatekeeping. We need everybody to come on board and spread the knowledge. Why? It's no longer appropriate for us to feel like I'm not going to connect. Let's get past that white supremacist ideal that Black people can't get together, because that is a lie. And we are living proof that it is a lie. We are connecting right now, and we connect every single day. We have talked every single day, all of us, since what, November? We have been on it since November, and all we're doing is growing, and our organization is getting bigger and better. So I don't want to hear, and I would hate for people to think that Black people can't get it together, because guess what? That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to prove everyone wrong, and that white nationalist talking point will be put to bed if we have anything to say about it. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. It was nothing but stereotyping. And I knew it in my spirit. I knew, because I know who I am and I know what I can do. And that's why I just said, okay.
Yeah.
You let no enemy stop your growth. I kept it moving.
Yeah.
And my husband and I did what we had to do to make it happen. We had the tools right there in front of us. We just had to put that piece together and make it work. And that's what we did.
And now look at you. Now look at you. And it's just going to continue to get bigger and better. And the best part about it is you're willing to help any nonprofit that's on their way up and coming. You're not, you're going to do the opposite of what they tried to do to you. And that's the beautiful thing, because we got bigger fish to fry.
Oh yeah. Now they're reaching out to me.
Right. and it's so beautiful to see, because when you're able to be able to get that public eye or get on the news for what you're doing, then they can be able to see, and then they want to jump on the bandwagon. But to help out, to go back to your question, DJ Kitty, when you are in the beginning stages, in the infantry stages of your nonprofit building, that's why it's key to have a strong secretary, because that secretary is almost like a carotid artery, that flows things from the heart to the brain, because if you have a strong secretary who can be able to have pictures and be able to create videos, or even if you hire or contract somebody, it is worth it, because people are wanting to see where the evidence is going. And then two, being that you have to file a 990 tax return at the end of the year as a public charity status nonprofit, you have to file that and make it available to the public. Okay. And on that 990 tax return, there are different forms and schedules. One is the Schedule O, which is the identifying description of what you did. And then you also got to say what you did with the funds and how much allocated donations you did for each program. So when they see that, like GuideStar, which also has different tiers, a bronze tier, a silver tier, gold tier. So when you start moving up in each tier on these trusted sites, people will trust you more. But the only way you can be trusted is the fact that you have more to show, more details. So always have your secretary writing down how many volunteers, because that's going to be on the tax return, how many people donated and what they donated. So your secretary and treasurer have to be in sync, and they have to write down everything and set up, at your events, at the gate, one of them clickers to keep attendance. So you can be able to know how many people actually came by. They don't have to stay long. Heck, if they just show up, that's a click. And if you show 500 for one event, and then 600 for one event, and then 100 for one, well, you're already over 1,000 people, and you can be able to show those numbers. It's all about the numbers, baby. I'm trying to tell y'all about the numbers. When they see them numbers going where they want to see go towards the program, they're going to come flocking in. So record keeping and visualization is key in the startup process.
No, I got a question. So for beginner people coming into this new, of course, how would you go about, recruiting for your volunteers, or would the volunteers just come to you? Because I do remember Powerful Black Woman was saying, a lot of her volunteers were people who were blessed and they just wanted to give back. And I'm pretty sure that's usually how it goes. You usually get people who you might donate to or may help out in a tough situation want to, be a giver and do the same for the next person, right? Pay it forward. But that's one question. And then, when it comes to getting you a secretary, as you stated, a treasurer, things like that, is that kind of just like you going on Indeed, putting in application? I mean, what are you doing to, recruit for that type of person to be able to do a good job in that way? Like you said, keeping the track of the volume and making sure the pictures are, showing what you're doing in the community, making sure the social media is running properly, those kind of things to keep people wanting to come back to to your events.
Right. I could take the question number one, and Ziva, you want to take number two?
Sure, I can take it.
Okay. All right. So question number one, when you go to, as children of God, okay, we're called to give, like we were talking about, we have to multiply the blessing. So just go to your local churches and see if they'll put it in their bulletins. And then also you can, leave some flyers around your local for-profit businesses, restaurants and so forth, see if they can be able to just put it in the front or somewhere, in their business. But you can, there's many ways, even sometimes if you go to people's events, they can already have lists, a volunteer list that you can be able to outreach and connect with them on. So those are a few ways you can be able to kind of get some volunteers that you may need.
Okay.
And that's what I did. I got it on my website, Carter's Caring Hands website. And it's a category on there you can go to and see if you want to volunteer. You have the opportunity to volunteer. You have the opportunity to donate. We also have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I have someone that do our videos and put our nonprofit information out there. My husband and I, we go around different communities posting flyers. On each day we have food events. We post the flyers of our pantry. That's when the days that is open, right? But we also invite those that give us the blessing to come out and see what we're doing. So they can see that this is not a joke, and they can see that I mean business, And then once they see that, they'll be like in awe. And that's how they came back. They saw, because before it was stereotyping, right? They didn't seem like they didn't believe me when I was trying to connect when I first moved here to Kalamazoo. They didn't, because of that, right? So now they see, right? So I had this, let me tell you about this story I had today, right? My husband and I, we went to Aunt Millie's bread company here in Kalamazoo. And my husband have an event with all guys. He got together to go out to the unhoused community and talk to the men. So we went there to get the bread because they was going to make sandwiches and have soup or whatever. So when we walked in the bread store, we have a contract with Aunt Millie's to get bread, buns, whatever we need. We walked in the store. Here goes the stereotype. How can I help you? The way she said it, it was like, what we doing here? And then my husband looked at me. He said, mm-mm. So he said, I'll talk to her. We are a nonprofit. Mrs. So-and-so know who we are. Could you go get her? Well, you have to tell us what it's about. My husband said, we are a nonprofit. And that was it. And I just looked, and he just said, just chill out, because the stereotype, that's how it all started, coming to Kalamazoo, because people didn't want to associate with me because of the color of my skin.
But that's just too doggone bad, because you know what? They're going to have to accept us. Matter of fact, they don't even have to accept us. We're going to continue to move forward. Your acceptance isn't necessary, but you won't stop with our growth. I hate that happens, but it, like, what was the affirmation this morning or earlier? We will run into that, because it's no different. We have always, unfortunately, ran into that. But guess what? Costco and D&W and Trader Joe's got you. And the community has your back. So that one person who doesn't see their value, they see value in a skin color versus value in a human being. They haven't evolved to that. They will have to deal with that with God. We got work to do. Diva, Miss Carter, you are doing it, and you are doing it big. That person will have to look in the mirror, and when it's her turn or his turn to go and stand before the Lord, all the ugliness, all the hate, all the jealousy and the dislike of people because of their skin color, they're gonna have to talk to God about that. What you do, you will have to talk to God about. What I'm doing, I will talk to God about it. And my God said he is blessing you for all the things that you continue to do. And I am so proud of you.
Well, thank you.
I'm just proud of you.
Thank you.
I see you as, you know, my big sister. I see you as a vessel for me to keep going. You know, even on those days that I am dead tired, you know, I can hear my big sister say, oh, get your rest and come on. We still got work to do.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
We got things to do.
Keep it moving. But she just said, oh, I am so sorry. When she realized the lady came out and knew us. I am so sorry. And I said, just treat people better.
That's all.
That was it. Just treat people with kindness. That's all you have to do.
And you know, I have learned that some people in this world have to be reminded of that. You know, I was faced with a situation this morning first thing this morning, and I had to call Mrs. Jack, and she had to talk to me all the way to work so I would keep my job, because baby, sometimes you just gotta let people know. I understand that we all have trials and tribulations, but don't take it out on people who aren't doing anything to you. Okay, life is too short, and the blessings that you're blocking will not affect me, because I need all of my blessings. Our plugs was a blessing for me. It was something that me and my mother had started when she passed, and then I had to regroup, and now I have my family, my community. These blessings won't stop, honey. These blessings will not stop, even if I got to talk to Miss Jack so I can keep my sanity and not go into that office and act a fool. And that's what I did. You know, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes. Go ahead. So we have a few minutes before we are going to wrap the show this morning. I want to thank you guys. I thank you guys so much for taking out time, because I have taken notes. And if I do decide to start a nonprofit, I know exactly who I'm going to call. I just got to figure out I already know my sister up there. She's already, her wheels are moving, because I already hear Morningstar's clock, which sounds real good to me. But
listen, I've already made a decision. And when I'm ready, I know I'm going to Mr. Martinez right there, because as he stated, they're going to lay it all out for you. We just provide that vision. And I love the process. I love the way you guys will walk us through the process, get us through the whole thing, and guide us along the way with, nuggets to keep us going. So, yeah, you got the wheels turning, and I'm looking like, I should have did that last week or yesterday. As many clothes as I have.
Yes.
It's only going to come to you when it's supposed to come to you. Go ahead.
Yeah. And never thought of that.
And you can connect with other stores around that don't know what to do with their clothes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Never. And I know for a fact it's not just me, of course, that have. It's plenty of clothing stores that have, overage, and we just, you just move on, because that's how fast it is. The seasons come, you change clothes, you move on to the next season.
I see the vision. I see the vision. I see the vision. Y'all collaborating together and opening up Morningstar Closet. I mean, oh my gosh.
Get working. I'm gonna get working
now. Get working.
It's that hustle within me.
Right.
It's them ancestors. They talking to
me. Oh yeah. They guiding us.
And they always will. They always have, and they always will. So let's go ahead and get ready to wrap. Andre, any last words? You're on mute. Unmute.
Last words for tonight is
this morning.
I'm sorry. This morning, I'm already having some plans for dinner, but get your mission, get your vision. It will come to you. And a lot of instances, whether it's a issue or a problem to solve, that's where you're going to find your most passion to come from. Don't try to bite off anybody else's nonprofit or do it for the money. You know, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, you know, to be able to help humanity, to be able to educate folks, however it may be. You know, I was reading this article earlier on the ISIS, you know, deportation and immigration. They said they arrested over 32,000 people since January 21st. And so them, along with the criminal alien program, and they also created this partnership program called 287G. What that is
we gotta cut it. We gotta cut it. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, no, I'll just let you know. Hey, there's going to be some children out there that are going to be missing their parents, and they're going to have a group home.
Absolutely.
But whatever hits your heart, go for it, and we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Ziva, go ahead and say good night or good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy your view.
Enjoy. Thank you all for joining WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Hey, y'all.
Hi,
it's
everybody.
DJ Kitty.
Bye-bye.
Miss Morningstar.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection, and we will be your new morning host on WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Yes, we will be broadcasting Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
We'll also be streaming on YouTube at Our Plugs LLC.
Be sure to tune in.